Good morning, Overlanders. So we're coming up from Flagstaff. We had 3 days of Overland Expo West and wind, a lot of wind. So we were going to come in here into House Rock Road and White Pocket yesterday, but the wind. We couldn't fly the drone, and everything would be miserable. So we spent the night in Page, and there's a nice campground there, Park Service campground up on the hill, great view of the lake, Lake Powell. And now we are on House Rock Road, Vermilion Cliffs National Monument, and we're heading north towards White Pocket, and we're also heading north towards an antelope. Hey, don't run away. Oh well. The antelope decided he didn't want to talk to us. Actually, pronghorn, they're not really antelope, I guess, but none of the rest of us care. Biologists seem to care, we don't. So there's also a condor viewing area. There's condors up here in the cliffs to our right, and if you haven't seen condors, that's probably an interesting thing to do. Probably the best place to see condors is right at South Rim Grand Canyon. They're like all over the place, right by you. You can see them pretty close. So it looks like they've watered House Rock Road. And it isn't the washboard that it used to be, at least here. So hopefully the road back to White Pocket hasn't been paved or something. Okay, well, we'll check back in when something exciting happens, like we turn off towards White Pocket. Okay, on our left here is the corral. It's in pretty bad shape, but whatever, it's a corral. So we make a right and go this way. And then they're going to try to scare us with the signs, like, stay on the road, four-wheel drive only, not all-wheel drive, and all that. And camping is permitted. So we're still on the first leg here after the turnoff, and it's been nicely graded, except the washboard. So there's been some rental Jeeps coming along that can't air down, and they are really struggling. There's stiff suspension and not being aired down. It's pretty miserable to be on severe washboard. Okay, this is called Pine Tree Pocket, and we're on our way to White Pocket. There's an old ranch house here, and that's probably a windmill at one time. It's no longer working. Anyway, here's you make a left to White Pocket. So I'm going to pull over and wait for these Jeepers, see how they're doing. I think they're getting all beat up from the washboard.
Beautiful blooming yucca and junipers dropping their berries. Here's on the bottom all the juniper berries, and there are many more berries here. Beautiful.
So this BLM 1087 trail here is famous for its deep sand and people getting stuck out here, especially in all-wheel drive rental cars that don't really do all-wheel drive all that well. So we've been out here before in the transit 2 or 3 times, and hasn't been a problem at all with the transit. Never even put it in mud ruts mode. But we're aired down to 20, so 22, something like that. Mostly for the that washboard. And the sign says 4-wheel drive, high clearance required, know the difference. 2-wheel drive versus all-wheel drive versus 4x4. Okay, so that's the same sign as they had elsewhere. So there's 2 rental Jeeps out here with us. The other one is like fell way behind us. I think the washboard was really hurting them. And then an Asian couple in a white Jeep were ahead of us. We were ahead of them, and then we let them get ahead of us. In case they have problems, we can help. And we have the winch. There's actually trees out here to winch off of. That's unusual for us to have. So it's sandy and it's squishy, but this is not going to be a problem to all-wheel drive vans, and certainly not Jeeps. Now, I have met Jeepers who got high-centered and stuck out here. So little ledges, 2 inches. And we have several more miles of this before we get to the beautiful rocks of White Pocket. Okay, there are some ledges here. They're kind of workarounds, but I thought I'd take the hardest way just because that's how we like to do things. And through some of the deepest sand right there. So this little hill is kind of sandy, but I think pretty much all the hills out here don't have deep sand. So that isn't the problem. Here's, foot deep sand.
Yeah, this is really good.
Okay, so we have a typical line gate ahead, but Katya's going to get out first and photograph all of these
Juniper berries
that are laying on the ground. It's a beautiful, beautiful blue.
Check out those berries. Yeah? And here's like snow of juniper berries. And there's some flowers. The cars are coming behind us. And let's look at this big tree. And the lizards. And more berries. So beautifully vibrant flowers. These ones are orange and these ones are purple.
Now we're getting glimpses of the famous rocks at White Pocket. Off in the distance, the excitement builds, and we do get excited about coming here. This is like really an amazing, terrific place. Unfortunately, it's more and more people know that it's an amazing, terrific place. But it hasn't been too crowded out here yet. This is a Tuesday, mid-May, and it's 73 degrees. right, look what's ahead of us. This is good stuff.
And here we're spotting a cactus in bloom.
So now we're getting into the trailhead area, camping area. We see quite a few rigs out there. We have our favorite spot, but it's almost certainly taken. Yeah, it looks like it's taken. Let's just cruise over there anyway. Maybe not. Is it this closest tree?
I don't remember. I think it's this tree.
It's this one. We've got our spot. Look at this.
Awesome.
Look at the crowd over there, huh? Oh, wow. This isn't like the old days. Okay, the old days just being a few years ago. Okay, so this is the spot we like. It protects us from the afternoon sun. It's about noon now. And what do you think of that?
I like it.
You want to be a little bit farther away from the tree, or are you fine with the tree?
Fine with the tree.
Okay, decision is made. She's fine with the tree. We're going to shut it down right here. So we didn't get our favorite spot because there's a wasp nest there and they look very unhappy with us parking there. They're flying around all over us. So we're out here in the middle, but we have a precious view in all directions. So that's kind of cool. Lots of white pockety rocks. And we're going to have the awning out, and it's going to be really nice here in a few minutes. And we're going to have our traditional Chardonnay celebration. Perfect weather right now. Absolutely perfect. White pocket.
White pocket.
Good morning, Overlanders. White pocket still. We're going to pack up today and head up into Grand Staircase Escalante. But we have some treats coming up also. We're going to take a different road out of White Pocket than we've done before, the harder way. So I think it's going to be scenic out there. So let's go figure that out. Okay, now we go off the main road, and this one could be more dicey. Really don't know too much about it. Did a little research. There's a steep sandy hill. We may not be able to get up or down, whichever way it is. Well, get up anyway. I don't know if in this direction we're going to be climbing it or if we're going to be descending it. It's a bit squishy, but so far it's pretty much like the main road into White Pocket. Juniper berries all over the ground. Got some beautiful color out here. Well, here's a steep sandy hill, right where my map shows there's a steep sandy hill. So it looks like we go up the sandy hill, at least this part of it, and the van is doing extremely well. Let's see what's over the top of this hill. Oh wow, this is pretty cool, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we climbed the steep sandy hill. I think that's the only significant obstacle feature, whatever, on this road. There's going to be, you know, some ledges, all the usual. But we got up that. And it was actually kind of fun. So this road is going to bring us out over on House Rock Road. And from there we'll head north to more adventures. Okay, so we got some ledges here. And we're going to roll the tires over one, like this. Nice. The van did it just beautifully. Okay, some pretty good sized ledges here to drop off. Fortunately, we now have skid plates, that helps. Well, actually we don't use it much, but it gives me some confidence that I'm not going to rip the engine out down here somewhere. Okay, this next one. And we have some cool rocks ahead. Yeah, I like them. Nice out there. Here comes sort of a steep climb. Let's see if it'll do it just with all-wheel drive like we did last time, just normal. Yeah, no mud ruts, just climbs right up in deep sand. Yeah, sweet, huh? So in the far distance, we're looking at Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument. Actually, we're looking at the Grand Staircase itself, a series of kind of big, huge steps. Well, it's the nicest corral we've seen out here. Most of them are pretty bad shape. This one's actually well maintained. Okay, propane tank, a pump jack, like usually for oil, but it would bring up water. So they were getting some water up here. A defunct corral, broken stuff everywhere.
This is 82.
Yeah. Let's go up to this Cottonwood Cove.
Okay.
Sort of an out and back here. That's deep sand. So ahead of us is Coyote Buttes, and just beyond those buttes is the Wave. And probably everybody is familiar with the Wave. It gets photographed a lot. If you could get a permit to get in there, and I gave up. It's $9 a month to apply every month, and after a while I just got bored with the whole attempt. It's really, really hard to get a permit. Although it might be easier from this side. Okay, Coyote Buttes South, Special Management Area. We're here. And it says, what, very deep sand ahead? So...
Extremely dead.
Dead end. Oh, dead end 1 mile. Okay, go ahead. We won't go out that far. Okay, deep sand, but we're going downhill. But we went up the steepest one back there that's noted on maps. It's just regular all-wheel drive. Didn't need mud ruts. Look at how beautiful these rocks are. It's like terrific out here. Okay, so this area is called the Paw Hole, for whatever reason. Okay, that was quite a drop. The light out here is kind of flat on this sand, so it's sometimes kind of hard to see when there's a rut or a ditch or anything like that. So it's a slow drive, very slow. 5 miles an hour. And it's got all of these ATV racetrack kind of S-turns. Huh? This must be Paw Hole Trailhead. Okay. That's what it is, Paw Hole Trailhead. And there's the trail. So it's a permit area. You can't actually hike into the Paw Hole without a permit. South Coyote Buttes. We're down out of the hills in House Rock Valley, coming up to House Rock Road. So this is a shorter way to White Pocket, but it's much slower. It's like 5 miles an hour, and you can get up quite a bit more speed than that going to White Pocket on the main southern route. However, we didn't meet any other cars other than the 2 vehicles at that trailhead. So that's kind of pretty cool, really. So now we're going to be out here on the washboard, but we're aired down, so it shouldn't be too bad. We're heading north because the goal is up Cottonwood Canyon to Escalante. We're going to need to gas up in Escalante. So we're not sure where we're going to spend the night, but it's only 11 a.m., so we could be out on Smoky Mountain Road somewhere. Yeah, we're starting to get close to State Line Campground, and we'll be crossing into Utah somewhere right here, which means we're changing time zones. So we're going from 11 o'clock to, I don't know if we're going to change or not this time of the year. Arizona's got its own thing. They don't do daylight savings time. Oh, sorry, little guy. I almost ran over that lizard. Cute little lizard. So now I think we're, yeah, we gained an hour. So it's 12 o'clock now instead of 11. So we're camping back at White Pocket. Katya was noticing that her watch and devices were changing time zones automatically, like from one side of the van to the other. It's kind of amusing here. So we're going up towards Wire Pass trailhead, which is big and lots of cars, because Wire Pass is a really cool slot canyon. And I don't think we really have time on this trip to take you into Wire Pass. It's a blast, but it's crowded. And maybe I'll remember to throw in a few snapshots of our previous trip into that slot canyon.
Is he on? Making some coals to cook some lamb and corn.
Sounds great. Whoa. And our view down the wash. This is Kodachrome Basin State Park. And we have showers, unlimited showers. There's laundry down the road, flush toilets. Well, the garbage bins, you know. But at least they have kind of a rustic rust to them. But look at that terrain up above. Whoa. So, great location. Oh, and then we've got an old friend here. It's a pipe. And there are 77 pipes around here. And that guy's one of them. He's cool. So, great desert environment. And Katya is thriving, of course, in this environment. Okay, Kat, how's it going here?
You know, the coals is still developing, but I decided that I'm gonna start cooking corn, fresh corn on the cob in foil with butter and some Cajun spices now. So, because then when the coals will quiet down, then we're gonna put the lamb. Check out the lamb. I already marinated it a little bit.
Whoa, this is looking good.
Yeah, we use some Ozark style seasoning from Pansies.
Wow,
So that's what it's gonna be.
this sounds amazing. Thank you.
Haha. Gonna be good. All smoked and beautiful.
Yeah, looks incredible. Oh, it's all gone. But it was great because of her.